So did everybody have a nice Halloween? I know Joseph did. Halloween, yes? Yeah. You know, Halloween sucked when I was a kid because I grew up in Alaska. It was always like 10 below when I was trick-or-treating. So I could dress up as anything I wanted to be as long as it incorporated a giant poofy white snowsuit. So pretty much 5 years in a row I went as Scary Michelin Man. Ooh. Your treads are at 3/16 of an inch. Ooh. And I love my mom, but my mom was never really one of those make a costume types of moms. She liked to do the least possible. So like one year I wanted to be a vampire, so she just took a white sheet and made it into a cape. And with the white snowsuit, she said I was inverse Dracula. And then I had the black ski cap on my head, so I kind of looked like Tiny Elvis, really. And then the next year, she just didn't do anything, just cut 2 holes out of a pillowcase and put it on my head and said I was a ghost. It was like, I kind of looked like I was in the Klan. So Halloween was really, there was all these weird arbitrary things that didn't make any sense when you were a kid. Like there was the rule that you could only eat candy that was pre-packaged. You couldn't eat anything that was homemade because they might put a razor blade in it. It's like, what kind, that would be like the worst possible crime. It was just totally incompetent. It's like, all right, here's my plan. I'm gonna wait until the kids who live next door come and knock on my door. And then I'm gonna give them a cupcake that has Happy Halloween from your neighbor Dan written on it. They'll never catch me. There are all kinds of weird arbitrary rules. My family had the 2-cookie rule. Just somehow my parents had decided that 2 cookies was the exact amount of dessert that any child should have. But then there were all kinds of like weird exceptions. Like you could only have 1 piece of cake, and then you get into like brownies, which are kind of cookie-like in shape, but cake-like in texture. Pretty much every dessert ended up being like an IRS audit. There'd be like negotiations and weird exceptions. There was one time my brother wanted to know how much whipped cream he could have for dessert, and my mom said he could have as much as he could fit onto a spoon. She had to stop him before he opened a second can of it. But then the rules all went out the window on Halloween night. The rule on Halloween night in our family was you could have as much candy as you wanted to, which, yeah, when you're a kid, that amount of candy is all of it. Because when you're 5, you've only been able to tell time for like 6 months. The whole concept of tomorrow is a little bit theoretical. I'd be like just slamming Snickers and 3 Musketeers into my mouth like the rapture is coming. My dad's like, you want to wait for tomorrow? And I'm like, hey, don't you be pushing your crazy theories about the future on me.